Good afternoon, and welcome to our chat session for the Introduction to Bridging Target class. I will switch over here and go ahead and open up the microphones for everyone that we have on the line, and we can talk. And Casey is with us, so we can go ahead and get started.
Hey all, how are you doing today? I'm just checking to see. Hey, Colleen, you still have your hand up. We didn't unhand you. So I just want to check and see if you actually have a question right now. Let me go back and... Hey, welcome everyone. Very nice to see you all today. I was checking with Colleen, but she is probably out moving her dogs around because she's in both classes. And I'd like to say hi to Carolyn and Jane, Linda, and also Kathy out in California. So welcome everybody, and Leslie and Colleen will be back as soon as they've done whatever they try to rush and get done in between classes. Now the first thing that I'd like to do is take a look.
We have Colleen on with us now.
Pardon?
I said we have Colleen on with us now, and she just
Okay.
raised her hand.
Oh, okay. So let's see what that question was, because I know she's had it. Colleen, do you have a question that you wanted to bring up?
No, just saying I was here.
Oh, okay, great. Good to see you again. All right. So let's take a look at the video page and see what people have sent in. And I have some video that I'm going to share with you. It's not ready for prime time, but we'll make it ready for you guys, because after all, you're family. All right, and let's go and see. We have Wish and Sat's colors. And let me just double check. Jane, did you send us in some video also? It may be that it just came in. Because if so, I'm not seeing you here on the video thing. Let me take a look. Okay. Jane sent in Magic doing right and left cones. Jamie, I'm not seeing that video up there yet. Do you see it?
I don't think so. I thought there was one more video that came through from someone, but I'm not actually seeing the file yet, so I was just looking into that right now.
Okay. Jane, it can take it quite a long time to process. But don't worry about it, because what we're going to do this time is next Monday is our last class. We're going to share lots of little pieces of video and talk about whatever we want to talk about to set everybody up to get the most progress with actually applying this with their animals between now and Monday. Monday's our last class. It's the makeup from when I was attacked by the frog in my throat. And what we can do is you can send me video as much as you want, but in little pieces, please. And I'll try to take a look at them and give you immediate feedback, even though we won't be in the class, so that you'll be able to bring me your video on Monday, and definitely try to get it in by Sunday night so we can have it loaded. And we can see how far you've gotten and really enjoy your successes. All right, so now let's go see Wish and Sat's colors. And we'll give you the link. Jamie, do you have it up there already? Because I can put it in there if you're busy doing something else.
Why don't you go ahead and put it in there? I think I found these other videos, or another video that came through from her, and I'm uploading it right now so we can take a look at it.
Okay, Linda says, I thought I was in both classes. Linda, are you thinking you're in the perception modification class too? Because you might be, and maybe I just don't remember seeing you in there, because I know I didn't see you in there this morning. All right, so let's just review our comments. Jane says, I'm so confused with the times. I am at the right time. I can't get through on Skype either. It keeps saying call declined. Okay, Jane, go to Skype. In your search, put join. It'll come up join conference. Click on that. And then that will take you to our conference, and you just put in that PIN.
Go out.
And then you should be connected, just like normal. One time we got in sideways, and so I think that's confused people since then. All right, and Linda, if you signed up for both, we'll check it out and double check that. But if you signed up for both, we'll make sure you get the information for the other one. And if you signed up for an auditor, then you get to just, see everything and participate that way. And if you were a participant, we'll let you know, and we'll get you in there next time. A lot of the people for the classes, we don't necessarily see them during the class at all, ever. So it makes it a little bit of a challenging to know who to expect. All right, and Jane says it's saying that join conference is offline. Jamie, can you say anything to that? Because it's not offline because I'm in it. That's how I'm
I've never seen it offline, and I don't know that I've ever had a problem connecting to it. So make sure that you have it spelled right. It's all one word, just join conference.
Well, she's already... Jane, if you, I know what. Okay, maybe this is the critical thing that's missing that makes it keep being a problem. Go to add contacts on Skype and add join conference. And they should accept you immediately. Maybe your local connection is down.
Skype, I don't. That's kind of weird.
Well, she says she's come in on the Skype thing before.
Is she out of the country?
Yes, she's in the UK. Okay, Leslie. Leslie can't hear us on the phone yet either. Okay, Jane's in. Yeah, I'm happy too, Jane. And Leslie, can you hear us now on the phone? Are you on phone? I can actually check that. It looks like you're on phone. Okay, say something, Leslie.
On the phone now. I just dialed in.
Okay, well, I actually saw you. Oh, no, I didn't. I saw Carolyn Ross. All right, hi, Carolyn.
Hi, I just phoned in too. I'm on chat, but I phoned in. I'm not on Skype.
Okay.
Do I need to be on Skype? Because I can access the YouTube page. I can see the videos.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. All right, and so I've said hi to everybody, and we've got our little chicks home. Let's go see some video. So do you see the link is in your chat? And as soon as you get there, please synchronize to the very beginning, and I'll call out a count in a second. I'm going to mute everyone so we don't get your background noise.
I don't see the link.
Okay.
Maybe I'm confused. Okay, I'm confused. I see it. Got it.
It's not a bad thing to be confused. I spent a lot of time there.
I was still on the previous class.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, here we go. 4, 3, 2, go. Wow. We even got editing on this one.
You get anxious about that, don't you? So you can bring in your shoulder. Can you bring in your shoulder?
Okay, there was a tiny try there.
Here's your shoulder. Good, 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 good. Excellent. Good job. And now I'm going to move backwards. You stay still. Good, 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 good. Good still. Really good. Well done. Can you bring in your hip? Good. Excellent job.
Very
well
nice.
Done. That was excellent. Good girl. How about your chin? Good job. Lovely chin. Should we do the other side? Can you bring me your cheek? Where's your cheek? Hey? Good girl. And your ear? Good. And your chin? Good. Well sorted. And your shoulder? Where's your shoulder? Can you bring it to my hand? You need it to come a little bit nearer to my hand, your shoulder. Can you just shift your weight over towards me? Good, 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 good. Good job. Now I want you to stand still. Good still while I bring your come to your hip. Can you bring me your hip? You remember where your hip is? Good hip. Good hip. Hip. Good. Good job. That's excellent. Okay, let's see what else we can do with you. And you remember.
Very nice.
Down. Good job.
Woo!
Left. Good. And right. Good.
Whoa, that's very clean.
That's fantastic.
Very nice use of neutral targets,
Now,
too.
now, let's have a play with these. Do you want to come over here? You play with these. Have a look. Can you touch blue? That's red. Can you touch blue? Good. And red. Good. Excellent. It's red. Good job. And blue. Good. That's fab. I haven't got very good pockets. My pockets are bad. Good girl. Can you touch up? Good, 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 good.
Great.
And down.
Great.
Can you touch red? That's blue. Good, 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 good red. Good red. Can you touch blue? Good, 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 good. You figured that out, didn't you? I know you did. Okay, so let's make it more interesting. Can you touch the blue bucket? That's red. Can you touch blue? Good, 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 good blue. Can you touch red? Good red. Excellent. Out.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Jane, what do you want to tell us about it? And I do have comments, but I want to hear about it first. Oh, I muted you. One moment, please.
That's Sarah's.
What?
That's Sarah's video.
Oh, that was Sarah?
Yeah.
No. Well, hold on. Do you want to say anything about Sarah's video?
I thought it was brilliant.
I'm so confused. Oh, well, you know what? I don't know the horse names, but it does look like Sarah's thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's Wish. Her name is Wish.
All right, I see that it's Wish, but I didn't recognize. Okay, now, you did send some in, but we're still looking for it. Dang, I really want to see yours.
I've got it on YouTube on my own link if you want me to just put the link on.
Yeah, just give us the link so we can go there.
It's not as good as Sarah's.
We'll be the judge. We'll be the judge. Oh, when I'm watching it, I can see that you're trying to tell me that. Sarah's video. Well, at least we'll be able to tell her we really enjoyed it.
I'll be a second getting the link off because I haven't found it yet.
Is it open on your YouTube site, or is it private?
It's just unlisted, so I can just...
So we do need to wait for you to do it. Okay, good. Now, with that video with Sarah, Jane, let me go back to that. I'm going to play it again, and I will talk about it as we go. And Jane, as soon as you get that link, this time I'll try to be more watchful. And
It's up.
Oh, it is up? That's how
I put it up.
I am. Okay, we're going to go there in just a moment. We'll go ahead and look at this video from Sarah again before we move on. All right, so please sync your start, and 4, 3, 2, go.
You get anxious about that, don't you? So if you can bring me your shoulder,
Okay, right there,
Here's your shoulder.
I believe I saw her
Excellent.
turning so that she could lean into the shoulder just a tiny bit.
I'm gonna move back.
I could be
Stay
wrong.
still.
As you can see, she's
Good,
black.
good still.
And
Really
so it may be that that's not exactly it. I'm going to go back a few seconds. I'm at 10. 4, 3, 2, go.
Thank you. So if you can bring me your shoulder. Can you bring me your shoulder?
Right there. There.
Here's your shoulder. Good.
Now, when,
Excellent.
see her ears back?
Good job.
And she's not upset, but I think she's just possibly a tiny bit frustrated. And what it might be, and it might not be this either, because I don't think she's really frustrated, but I think it's just kind of like when you're trying to do something, you go, dang it, like you're trying to pick up a pencil and it slips out of your fingers, and it's just a little bit frustrating. And I think what happens is, remember, when we start body parts, a lot of times we have our hands in contact with the body part, and we pulse the surface of that body part. And when we pulse, we pulse into the animal's skin and come back just partially, and we're waiting for an intensification of the contact. And then we are going to, bridge for that. And if we are anywhere outside of the animal, then they could start to try to do the thing, and we might not recognize it. If the animal's more confident with this behavior, it doesn't matter. They'll be fine with it. When you're first starting, you might see a little frustration if we miss those very first steps. So no harm done, and you can see that because she does very well, but just something to keep in mind. Okay, our chat time is over, so we'll see you after a short break, and we'll go on with our class. And you can just go ahead, and we'll come right into this video. See you in a few minutes.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the afternoon session of our Bridge and Target class. And we are all set to get started. And I just pasted a video link for, Casey, we're going to go ahead and watch the video right now, or?
We're going to start by completing the second viewing of the video of that Jane imposter, Sarah.
Okay.
And we're at second 21. So just make sure you're queued up there, and I'll give you the countdown. 4, 3, 2, go.
Good. Excellent.
Okay, now I mentioned the possible frustration. And you see by 25, totally resolved. Now, frustration isn't a bad thing. It's part of life. And it can really increase the effort of the animal to get it right, to get it done. I know that you remember in your own life that feeling of resolve. I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going back now to 16 and a little further. I'm at let's see, I don't know where I am, 10. Okay, so I'll give you a second to line up there. I want you to really look for that instant of try, and when you think you see it, I think I see it twice. Maybe I'm making this up. I want you guys to see if you can see it. And if you can see it once, if you see it twice. And so if you see it, go back and watch it and so forth, and see if you can get the time down exactly when you see each of them. And then we'll compare notes. Not a quiz. It is a quiz, not a test. Okay, I'm starting mine at the count. 4, 3, 2, go. Okay, and just watch it a couple of times. Because the first time I thought I definitely saw it, and this time I didn't see a thing. So you got to kind of, just be easy on yourself, but really take a look. Okay, now I'm going back to see what you guys have written. Okay, good for you, Linda. Now tell us where you see it. And look for the second time. I don't want to give any feedback yet because I don't want to bias anybody. I want you guys to just look. James says, I can watch for the shoulder and then, hey, here's what I do, guys. Here's what I do. I set my cursor on the stop. Okay, so I'm not trying to watch the time at the same time. And I watch the video, and the instant I think I see it, I touch my cursor, and that stops the video, and then I can check the time. Okay, Leslie, look again. Okay, so we've got Jane and Leslie are bravely coming forward. Okay, so all I want to know is, where's Colleen and Kathy and Carolyn? We're missing you. Now you notice I'm not giving you any input yet because I do not want to get in the way of success with you rascals that have not come in yet on this.
Excellent. Good job. Now I'm going to move backwards. You stay still. Good, 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 good. Good still. Really good. Well done. Can you bring your
Okay, good job, Carolyn.
Good. Excellent job.
Okay,
Well
Linda,
done.
you're on the right
That was
track. Look at it
excellent.
again and
Good
try that thing that I
girl.
said. Just put
How about your
your
chin?
cursor
Good
right
job.
on the
Lovely
stop
chin.
button.
Should we do the other side?
Watch the
Can you bring your
video
chin?
and hit your cursor the instant
Where's your
you
cheek?
see it. So guys, depending on our personal timing, we
Good
may be
girl.
off a little bit. That's not that
Good.
important. As
Your
long
chin.
as you see it,
Good. Well
you will get better and
sorted.
better
And your
at
shoulder.
getting there at the
Where's
speed
your
that it
shoulder?
happens. That's
Can you
part
reach
of
my
the,
hand?
skill of being an
Can you
animal
just come
trainer.
a little bit nearer to my hand, your shoulder? Can you just shift your weight over towards me?
Leslie says it really does help to put the cursor on the stop button.
Good job.
Well, I hope so. Man,
Now,
I'm
I want you
trying to
stand
make it
still.
easy.
Good still.
But it
Now
isn't
bring your
easy. It
hand
takes
forward.
work.
Wiggle your
Now,
hip.
I got a slightly different time, so I'm going to go back
Good hip. Good hip.
and see with all my own advice.
Good job. That's excellent. Okay, let's see what else we can do with you. Can you remember? Up. Good, 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 good. And down. Good job. Left. Good.
Okay.
Good. Really good. That's fantastic. And
All right.
now
Anybody
let's
else
have a
going to
play
go
with
before we
these.
start talking about it?
Do you want to come over here? Play with these. Have a look. Can you touch
All right.
blue? That's red. You touch blue. Good. And red. Good. Excellent.
Okay, Linda,
Red.
they are
Good
pretty
job.
close.
And blue. Good. That's fab. That one's got very good pockets. My pockets
Carolyn,
are
don't doubt yourself
Good girl.
because a lot of times the animal will do something that looks like the opposite of what you want in order to get the thing done. For example, you ask a dog to target his hip. Well, he's not used to moving his hip directly to a target. He may go completely around in a circle. And then it looks like he's accidentally touching you with his hip. It's important to give him credit for that touch. We don't care if it's an accident. Our job is just to label the success.
Touch blue. Good, good, good,
This
good
is successful.
blue. Can you touch
This is what I
red?
wanted.
Good red.
All right.
Excellent.
I think they are at
Out.
16. And you're right, Linda, it's very subtle. I got it at 16 and right at the turn between 21 and 22. And see, if you stop the video at 22, you see those ears. All right? And those eyes. What do you think of that? Okay, I'm going to go to the live chat so you guys can talk out loud about it. Anybody that wants to talk about this, raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Come on, guys. I mean, basically, you've done a really good job at getting in there and doing the work to see what needs to be done. Linda, you're absolutely right. It's very subtle. And Carolyn, you were right. She turns her head away, which pushes her head toward the handler, pushes her shoulder. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a tiny motion in the right direction. So we tend to miss those. Remember what I just was saying during the chat? If you put your hands even an inch away from that animal's body, she's very likely to be missed entirely, especially look at how hard it is to see the time and the event at the same time. We have to put our cursor on the time button and just respond because we can't look both places. So if you're sitting there watching the horse's face, hoping for recognition that she gets what she's doing, because we'll usually do eye contact, and you're looking for your horse to maybe do something similar, and you may totally miss that little tiny motion. Okay, what do you guys feel about the expression? How would you interpret it? Do you think it's frustration? Do you think she's just really concentrating? And, you know, tell me what you think about this. And I'm not going anywhere else until you tell me what you think. This is important. This is us learning to see the stream of behavior at the speed of communication, or in this case, at the speed of us continually stopping it. And Jane, you got it really. That's perfect because you got 16, and then there was a tiny thing at 20, and it got right on the cusp of 21. So I went through exactly the same process. I saw a little teeny thing at 20 and then a real resolution at 21, where I also saw the ears and the eyes. All right, now I'm not seeing any more comments, and it's making me feel very lonely. Oh, let me unmute you, Jane. Sorry. Thank you for relieving me. Go ahead.
I was sitting here going, I raised my hand.
It's that problem. We can't look in two places at once.
Why not? Yeah, her ears. The only time I see her ears looking, I don't know that it's frustration. It just doesn't look quite as involved is when Sarah actually does the pulsing onto her shoulder. So just after 21, her ears go back a bit more kind of focusedly back. But whether that's because because you can't really see her eye very clearly because she's black.
Yeah.
I can't tell whether it's just a concentrating because Sarah's touched her or whether it's a slight, I don't know about touching me kind of thing. I don't know.
Absolutely. So let's bring, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Let me bring Leslie in with us. Leslie, what were you going to say? You guys are both on.
I did not see frustration. I thought I saw her concentrating or thinking about it more. When she put her ears back, that was more of a thought process.
Great. Okay, now let me tell you my experience, and I'll mute you both for a second because we're getting feedback. I think you're right. And when I first started doing seminars, they were very entertainment-oriented instead of teaching-oriented. And when I started really trying to teach people, I saw everybody start looking very upset and frustrated. And maybe it's because I'm so used to people being happy and laughing. And I thought, oh boy, don't give them knives. And in reality, it's the look of intense focus. So I kind of lured you in the wrong direction saying frustration, because a lot of people will say, oh, ears back, either they're listening to something behind them or they're frustrated or upset. And you guys didn't take the bait, not one of you. So Linda says, it looks like she's thinking while shifting left and moving head left. Right when she's getting it, her head faces forward, a really solid stance. This girl is a thinker. She's keeping everything a constant so that she can really know what it is that she changes that makes a difference. At least that's my take. So good for you for noticing that solid stance. I commented on that also. Carolyn says, I'm not really seeing frustration. She's interacting and trying to figure it out. Yes. Do you see relief when she gets it? I definitely feel like I see relief. So let me take us back to our online crew. Okay, is that better? Leslie and Jane, with what I just said, does that really resonate?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes. What I talked about it's different than what I saw on other videos that were posted online. This does not look like frustration or irritation. This horse is thinking.
Now, I love that you say that, because I often will say to the owners, I'll get excited when I see that. And I'll say, do you see that? And a lot of times the owners will go, oh, no. But you see it. And you see that, this is what we talk about in the Talk to Me booklet. You can see in the gesture and the attitude of the animal a lot of what's going on. Okay. Let's go ahead and go back to it and continue to watch. Okay, so we're at second 22. I'll give you a second to get there. Okay, 4, 3, 2, go. She's very soft there and very respectful. Now, I love it. At 30, Sarah tells her what they're going to do next, and she turns her head forward. And she doesn't turn around to look. She seems to know to expect the information through the touch. And I think that's really neat. And there with the bridge at 31, you see her not moving but turning around to actually take a look. Now, here's more evidence to me that this girl is a thinker, because we're at 45 and Sarah's telling her how good she is, and the horse still isn't moving. I think she's processing information. Now let me go back and see what you guys are commenting. Nothing. Okay, I'm going to imagine that you're just so engrossed. And here we go back again. 4, 3, 2, go. Very confident, moving her chin. Now you notice she doesn't move it directly to a target yet. She moves it into a position. She puts her head forward, so she's really ready to flex straight down, I think. Could be different, but that's what I think is happening. Good, 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 good. Okay, so I brought my own bridging in there so you can see where I would start. Moment to process it. The horse is thinking. And then she does it. So, and it is no right or wrong. I'm moving back to 50. And here we go again. 4, 3, 2, go. Okay, so at 50, she starts the cue, so she probably gets the cue out somewhere around 51. Takes a good 5 seconds for her to really start to move that cheek into range. So the intermediate bridge can probably accelerate that, but it's not necessary. She's going to get it no matter what. And what are a couple of seconds here or there? But just to point it out to you guys, because you're starting to get ready for that level of detail. Okay, I'm at 56. 4, 3, 2, go. Very confident on the ear. Response within a second, very clear response. She moves her entire head to get it into the right place. 4, 3, 2, go. Okay, chin was a little less distinct this time, but I thought it was really good that she didn't have to go back to the middle position first. I think that may be an increase in confidence in her trying new things. I really love to see that. Okay, I'm at 103. 4, 3, 2, go. Okay, shoulder, where's your shoulder? So probably around 104 and 106, we get a lick at each place, and the horse is still thinking. Okay, now this time, you notice the first thing she did was move her head away, which Carolyn observed in the first place. And now she got a different kind of input from Jane. Can you move it to my hand? Let's see what she does next. Now look, she tried the same strategy again. She looks away. So she's going about getting her shoulder over there in an indirect way. Let's see what she does next. Okay, this time she turns around and looks and says, what the heck is going on over there? I thought I was doing that. Now, I can't see the motion there, but I believe it because Sarah tells her good. So I'm going to go back. I'm at 114. Okay, and I saw Sarah's hand move in a little bit, but you know what? That is perfectly appropriate, especially at the beginning, because if you do set a distance that you think the horse is going to be able to get or the dog is going to be able to get, and then you find they're getting a little bit of confusion, it is perfectly okay to meet them in the middle. Perfectly okay. In fact, it can be encouraging to them. What you need to do, though, is just keep bringing them forward. Because, for example, in our perception modification class, we were talking about what happens when the animal is being really good at getting easy, but not necessarily advancing on their ability to get easy on their own. And it's a process of just gradually holding them more and more responsible for doing the work, and then later for initiating it on their own. So at first they're going to be not ready to do that, and you want them to just go ahead and experience success. Okay, here we go back. We're at 118. 4, 3, 2, go.
Good. Good job. Now I want you to stand still. Good still. While I bring you up onto your hip. Underneath your hip. You remember
Nice that she gives the horse feedback. I don't want you to move around. Sets her up for success.
Good job. That's excellent. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Can you remember? Good. Down. Good job. Left. Good. And right.
Okay, did you see this, that minute of processing, or not minute, but instant? Do you remember up? Let's actually count how long that takes. Okay, I'm at 44. Okay, so right on the cusp there at 44 turning to 45, do you remember up? It's 47 when she's almost to up. Let's see where we actually see that instant of decision. I'm not going to tell you guys. I want somebody to write it down for us.
Excellent. Red. Good job. And blue. Good. That's fab. I've got very good pockets. My pockets are good. Good job. Can you touch up? Good. And down. Good.
Okay, going to look at your answers.
That's blue.
There aren't any answers. Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, well, do you have an answer?
Sorry, I'm multitasking a little bit at the moment, so I'm not following along as closely as I could be.
Okay, good for you, Jane. Good for you for doing it. Good, Linda. It's right. Let me see how close it is to the cusp. Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah, I'm getting it a definite 46, Jane, but I'm not able to see like how close. It's on the very close end of, right near the cusp of 45 versus 46. And so I agree with you, and I agree with Lindsay and Leslie. Hey, Jamie, in case you didn't notice, you got some bridging in there on the chat. So, okay, and Linda comments, then the recognition of down was really fast. Let's take a look. And then I want you to think of how you know the recognition.
Good. I'm down. Good job.
Okay. Going back to look at your answers. Yeah, Jane, she doesn't miss a beat, does she? It's like once she loaded that information, she knew both of them. And that's pretty typical, really. I mean, that just shows, it just shows they're on it, they're paying attention. Okay, how about you guys that are live on the phone? Any comments? Okay, we'll go back to finish this video. We're at 149. 4, 3, 2, go. Perfect use of neutral cues there. Okay, now guys, remember what we say about you offer the choices before you present them? In other words, while she's still moving in, but before you even put them down, tell her the color that you're going to go to. Otherwise, in this case, she moves straight to the red one. Who knows, maybe it smells interesting, or it has a dent, or it's reflecting the light in an unusual way. So we're kind of setting them up for expressing a bias, but it's not a big deal because it happens here. She was already next to red, and she went ahead and went by that one. In other words, she was looking at red for her own reasons first. And she gets it definitely sorted out within a minute. Definitely, there's no confusion within 1 minute. Okay? So, yeah, you can hone it in. Remember, last time we talked about there really aren't very many bad answers. As long as the animal's engaged, you're going to get there. And if you go around the block a couple of times, well, enjoy the scenery. But just as we go, you are going to learn to see more and more of these little things. And you'll be able to incorporate these little moments more and more. But be easy on yourselves. It's a process.
Red. You touch blue. Good. And red. Good. Excellent. Red. Good job. And blue. Good. That's fab. Very good pockets.
Look how polite she is with the food as well. I love the fact that Sarah's meeting her a little bit.
That's blue. Good red. Good red. You touch blue.
Okay, so there, we're at 241. Okay, so it was at 209 that she wanted to go see the red one. Now, she's still kind of liking that red one for whatever reason, but this time, when Sarah said, will you go to the blue one, which was the opposite of the one she was looking at, she goes right over. I'm going to check and see if anybody has any comments or questions. Going back to the video, we're at 241. 4, 3, 2, go. Okay, right there. Do you see that little lip wiggle at 43, 44? To me, that's her saying she's happy with herself. I'm doing it again. It's right. 43, 44. Okay, so we see that Wish likes the color red. And that might be interesting to look at a little more at another time, you know. All right, let's go to see Jane's video. And Jamie put it up in your thing. Will you guys please let me know when you get there? And as soon as you get there, center it on 0 and wait, and I'll give you the count when I see everybody's getting there. Linda asks, are there any color pairs you would avoid, like blue and green or red and orange? You know, Linda, if I remember correctly, it's green and red that you have to be careful of because they don't necessarily see that. I believe they see blue, red, and yellow. And other things are likely to appear as grays. And I did do a thing with dogs where I took a whole palette of colors and took pictures of them in black and, you know, in gray tones so that I could decide what colors I wanted to put together to make graphic cue cards. So I found that different dogs had different abilities to perceive the colors. So we think that dogs see blue and yellow and black and gray. I'm not sure if they think they see anything else, but I saw my German Shepherd get designs that were put in, let's say in a black and white photograph, they look to be the same color gray, although if you took the picture in color, they were obviously different. So you would have one color background with another color design. And theoretically, the dog wouldn't be able to see it because to him it looked like all the same color gray. However, in real life, he did see it. So there's something else that can modify that. You know, might be the reflection of the sun, or they can't see it as well, or I don't know what. And it may be that the camera doesn't see it exactly the same way as a dog would. Okay, here we go. We're going to go see Magic. Is everybody there? Go ahead, Colleen.
Well, I had a couple of questions or comments, whatever, on the last video.
Yeah, go ahead.
One was the amount of or reinforcement rate of the food, which seemed to be more than what you seem to like. As far as I can figure out, we should be using less food and just more engagement. So I was wondering about that. And so with the red and blue and just having the two choices, if the animal was wrong, if the horse was wrong, she went to red and she'd say, no, that's red, then the horse would go to blue. But I don't know if that was because she knew what blue was. I think on the buckets it was more obvious that she knew it. But with the cones, it was more like, well, if it's not this one, then it must be that one because there are only two choices. So if I'm not right here, then I'll go there.
It could
so
be.
It was,
You're right. And when I saw it the first time, I thought by the time she got to the bucket, she was rock solid. When I watched it the second time, I realized she still likes that red. You know, it's not an unbiased choice because she always goes to the red thing first. So then it makes it particularly more challenging for her to get the right answer because she really wants to pick red. It's not a neutral. So definitely a little more work needs to be done there for her to really master that. So good observation, and that's absolutely right. Now, there's... Go ahead.
Sorry. Have three choices, although it's hard with colors, but maybe with other objects, three choices. So it wasn't so easy that, okay, this isn't it. I don't get food for this one, then it must be the other one.
Yeah.
So they actually...
Well, also, this is where it really shows when you tell the color choice before you present them. See, what I'll normally do for this kind of task is remember how she had the little bowling pins? And there is no right or wrong, but they were presented directly, and then the choice was given as they were being presented. So they're coming into view. Can you pick whichever one? I think she asked for the blue one first. Well, the horse already attracted to the red one. So she's on her way to the red one before she got the information, and it's right there. Can you show me? And she went right ahead and chose the one that she was looking at already. So one way that can really help you tease that out, put the things over your shoulders so she can look at them, but she's not able to make a choice yet. Can I have the red one? And then move them equidistant simultaneously. Move them to the same relative place at the same instant. And you're going to get a less biased answer. I'll tell you another place where it comes up a lot, and that's with cell phones versus keys. Those are useful to teach the animals, can you show me the cell phone, can you show me the key? They are things that people often need found, and they're useful to find, but it turns out that many dogs are attracted to their owner's keys, and many dogs kind of don't like cell phones. I don't know if it's an electrical thing or what. So, all things being equal, if I present a choice between cell phones and keys, two objects that are logical to teach at the same time from a priority order, I will see often a bias toward the keys and away from the cell phones. If I just put the cell phone and the keys over my shoulders and then tell them which one I want them to pick and then move them into position, I'm going to get a much better, not much better, but enough of a better response that I do it that way. How about that? Now I want to address what you said about the amount of food. I don't really care how much food you use. You can use all you want. You can feed them pounds and pounds as long as your vet approves. It's just that I find that the faster I work, the more I don't use food. And I want people to experiment with it because it's just like Abby getting relaxed. She's perfectly happy to get relaxed now, but she doesn't quite do it on her own. So if you don't test it, and really work to, test that out, then you'll never do it perhaps. And you can really shortchange yourself. Because I think, when you get into stuff that you're really interested in, both of you are really interested, a lot of times the food just kind of goes by the wayside because you're so busy doing the work. Take an example, agility. How many obstacles do you go through before the dog gets any food payoff when you're actually doing an agility course? But it's not. Go ahead.
22.
Yeah. Yeah. But the dog doesn't care. So what makes it so the dog will do 22 things in a row without being fed? Well, the dog likes to do it. So it's not a thing of, you better get rid of your food and agility, but you just don't really have time in real life to do it all. You'll end up stopping yourselves and, so on and so forth. Does that address your what you wanted to talk about?
Thank you.
Okay. Some comments on our list thing. And Leslie says, obviously I need to work on politeness around food. George is quite rude compared to Wish or Magic, even though he's better than a couple of weeks ago. Leslie says, back to the barrier. And Linda says, I agree, Leslie. Wish wasn't going anywhere near that pocket. Yeah, they're both very, very nice that way. And, it's something that, with that, like in everything else, you can develop your own level of comfort also. Just keep in mind other people. So you might end up with some animals that are more lippy but not necessarily demanding, and other animals that are totally polite. You can decide on for yourself what your range of limits is going to be. Just make sure you've got exactly what you think you've got. All right, now I'm eager to get to Jane. Okay, we're queued up at 0. Here's the count. 4, 3, 2, go. Okay, I stopped it at 4. And Jane, I've got a question for you. Are you at the edge of some concrete or something? I'm unmuting you.
I knew you'd do that. I'm eating an apple. He's standing on. It's road planing. He's standing on, and does that answer the question? And
your footing. Where did you put the cones down? Are you on the edge of the pavement or anything?
Did I what? Sorry.
Are you on the edge of the pavement or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Still on the same surface.
All right. Here you go back. Down that floor. Next question. Is this his first presentation for left and right, or is this a subsequent opportunity?
This is where I went wrong. I'd done left and right toggle, and he'd done left and right cheek. This is the first time he's done left and right cones.
Okay, it's not wrong. Just as long as you note that you gave him more responsibility to figure it out himself this time.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off. Okay, so let's see how he does. Okay, I'm at 41, and here comes the other rascal in there. That. Okay, so at 52, touch left. It looks like he's looking out at, aliens landing in the field or something. Go ahead.
He's telling me that I'm not explaining myself well enough. Because if you notice, all I'm saying, can you touch left, can you touch right? I haven't yet told him what I want him to touch. So when he zones out and I say, can you touch the left cone, it's like he suddenly switches on. It's like up until that point he was going, oh, woman, you are so useless. And then he zones out on me, and that makes me have to change something. So I actually remember, I should have told him that it's the left cone I want him to test. Left.
So you recognize that as him asking you a question then, huh?
Yeah, so from now on, you'll see the difference.
Okay. Okay, what is it that you just said there? I think you're getting it.
Yeah, I think you're getting... I think it, like the lady said, I can't remember who it was, who said about if you've only given them 2 options and they've done one, they then know to go to the other one. So I was just wondering whether, because I said right and then good, and then said left and good, he kind of knew that left was left because he'd just done right.
Yeah. Okay, and there's another thing I forgot to tell you about that, or to remind you guys about that. And I'll tell you. I love it. So that was a superior being moment. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is so funny because he's looking at you like, or he's looking into space like, oh, I'm so clever. Oh, I'm so clever. Did you consider the opposite possibility? But then when you start scratching, it's like, yes, but you do have your use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, Jane, you kind of gave yourself a hard time at the beginning as far as how you judged your own performance. Let's put it in perspective. You spent 1 minute and 22 seconds to clarify that left and right could refer to cones. Is that an embarrassing accomplishment?
No, it's just, and I love actually the fact that it's kind of like pulling teeth for the first minute, and he suddenly goes, "Oh well, why didn't you say?"
Yeah, and so could you cut a minute off of that time? I think so. I think you could. You could do it in a quarter of the time you did it in, probably. Does it matter? No. Have you worked on that concept before?
No, not with cones.
Okay, have you worked on any pair concepts, like right versus left, up versus down, anything?
Yeah, so he's done left right toggle, and he's done left right cheek.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Did you do it before when you were doing clicker training or traditional training?
No.
Okay. Is there a reason? Did you never need to have a horse understand that stuff?
I never thought about it like that, I guess.
Okay. Like we are always teaching them left versus right, because otherwise we walk up to a pole or something in a barn and they go on the wrong side or something like that. And so we just do it as a matter of course. So it doesn't occur to me. It's like, what do you mean you didn't teach your horse that? Anyway, the biggest thing is could Sarah cut time off of her training for that task? Yes. She got a lot done in a couple of minutes. You got this done in a minute and a half. You could get it done in half a minute. But so what? So now let's talk about a couple of other things. The reason I asked you if there was pavement there is because when you present the cones, I'm at 2 now. When you present the cones, look at your placement and look at the position of your horse. I'm at 4. Okay?
He's nervous at that point as well.
Oh, really? What makes him nervous, and what is he looking at?
The very first bit of the video that you don't need to see was that Remus the little chestnut came wandering over, going, "Oh, that looks interesting," and parked directly in front of the camera. And my camera's on a tripod because I haven't got a videoer, so I had to remove said pony. So because I had to remove said pony, Magic was a bit like, uh-oh. So as I walk back with cones, he's looking at me in a, do you want me to move away kind of a fashion, which is why he's got his ear like that, and why you'll see he just kind of lifts his foot off the floor in a kind of, do I need to be moving away here?
Ah, okay.
He started off nearly head on, but by the time I'd moved Remus out the way, he'd gone to there, and then when I come towards him, he looks away going, oh, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here either.
Okay, so you're trying to let him be there on his own terms, but you can see that he's now in a bad position to make equal choices because he's perpendicular.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he chose the right one first, which was harder to get round to.
Oh, well, let me just take a look. Oh, you're absolutely right. Well, forget I mentioned anything. But in general, just like in general, you're going to hold the choices over your shoulders and then present them. In general, start the animal out, especially if he's inexperienced, so that the choices truly are equally easy on both sides. Okay, but it didn't matter, did it? Now, he kind of seems a little fascinated with that. And I thought it was interesting, too, because you call them right and left, and they're obviously K and V. I'm looking right at their labels. By the way, it doesn't take long to teach them to read the alphabet letters either. Okay, so, man, he stayed on that, something like 5 seconds. Then he touches the left, but he doesn't find it as interesting. Now, again, he's more interested in that other one. So, for whatever reason, it's not an unbiased choice, perhaps. And it could be that somebody touched it in something. Some dog may have peed in it. You never know. Now he's really looking at... And there he really looked at the left one. That's the first time he really looked at the left one. I don't know if you remember with the rhino, I show him the syringe and I asked him to look at it. And that may be one of the things, just the newness of the object and do I want to interact with it could be the variable more than the thing is fascinating.
I was quite interested to do this with cones because obviously with the clicker training we've done quite a lot with cones, but not with these. He's not seen these specific white cones. We've got some little orange ones that look similar but are obviously a different colour. He's never met these white ones before, but the reason I held off doing this exercise with him was I thought he'd be too obsessed with targeting the cones or picking them up because he used to pick them up for me.
So he had a history.
Yes, he's got a history, but it's interesting because he's not tried to tip them over or pick them up, which he would straight away do with his normal cones. And he would never have normally targeted that long on a cone, even if I'd have tried to get that sort of duration on a cone. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
it does.
He would have just touched it and then looked at me for his treat when we were clicker training. He wouldn't have stayed that long and concentrating on it. So I don't know what's going on in his head, to be honest.
Interesting. But how neat, that you can see something is because you can see the difference in the behavior. Hey, and isn't it amazing how much happens in a short amount of time? When you go and look at it instant by instant, like at first we didn't see those tries that Wish was making, but when we really go back and look, we see the try right after each request. And, when we go back and look and see, well, how many seconds does this horse interact with the cone? And when does he break away from the cone? Can we see anything else in the environment that caused that? Or did he just get finished with looking at it? So there's a lot of information. Okay, here we go again. Lick, lick. Okay. So, Jane, are you telling us that that's the first time you actually identified them for him?
It's the first time he's seen two cones and I've done left and right with them, yes.
Okay, so you came in and you just asked him to tell you which was which, but you didn't actually show him which was which.
No, I just vaguely pointed in the general direction. I just kind of went, this is the left go, this is the left, this is the right. Away you go, buddy.
And so this time he's like, interesting, really interesting. Very polite about it. He doesn't tell you off. He just won't talk to you.
He's used to me.
That's really great. Here we go again. Very definite there. Okay, so now I want to check for questions and comments. Okay, and everybody's stunned. Nobody has said any comments. And we don't have any questions yet, so I'm sure they're coming. Okay, now, about Colleen's question and what you were saying about the, you know, gee, are they just going back and forth between the two choices? Remember what we say to do. Put both choices over your shoulder if you can, if it's appropriate, and then say which one you want, then move them into range, then ask for the second one. So here it is, this and then that. Then move them back out of range and switch the position and ask for either one. Do you see how that breaks the back and forth cycle?
Yeah.
Okay. But then stop there. Stop. Because with 3 correct trials like that, he's got enough to think about. He's done with that for that minute. Okay, now I want to watch some more because it's at 1:22 that I really love this. You know what I see in his face there, where you're actually really happy with what he did, is he doesn't do the same thing that Wish did, where she's kind of like, I'm such a smart horse, I'm such a smart horse. But he looked so soft. Yeah, and he's like, wow, yeah, that's really nuts. Now look at this other horse. Is that's not the pony you had to separate out, or it is? I don't know what you got.
He's a 2-year-old, so yes, he's very intrigued by everything.
Yeah, he's really, and does he then try to do this stuff?
I haven't started left and right with him, but the interesting thing here is that all 5 of them are in that place. They're all in the yard together, and Merlot, Mr. doesn't let anybody near me and tries to beat everybody up, is in the other barn eating haylage, ignoring us, which has been unheard of until I did all the food stuff about being in a bucket and you don't need it. He's completely stopped guarding everything, and I can work the others in there with him, which is amazing.
Interesting. So there you've got a little bit of information, a little bit of enforcement, nothing drastic, and it completely resolves an issue. And I want to bring that up because really, in my opinion, sats out purely positives, the purely positives. But it's not purely positive. When I say that, I mean it in the technically incorrect sense. In that technically positive means you just add to the environment. And of course, we also take things away from the environment. But the people that call themselves purely positive trainers are referring to their trying to emphasize successes and de-emphasize failures, however you do it.
Yeah.
And the fact is no can be way better answer than could you do something right? And to take a look at it, if you had me over for coffee and you said, would you like some coffee? And I don't want to tell you no because you're so emotionally delicate. So instead I say, oh, look at this refrigerator. Can you look at this refrigerator? So you do, but you're still wondering, Casey, do you want coffee? Look at the refrigerator again. It's so shiny. Yeah, it's really nice. I just got it. Do you want coffee? My goodness, what's in this refrigerator? Come show me what's in your refrigerator. I mean, wouldn't you want to get rid of me?
Yeah.
It's like, just tell me, do you want coffee, yes or no? I don't know what it is with guys, but a lot of times guys will not give a direct answer unless you put fire to their feet. So I say to Dave, would you like me to make you a tuna fish sandwich? Well, you could do that. Well, I'm perfectly aware of my capabilities. Do you want a tuna fish sandwich? That'd be okay. Do you want a tuna fish sandwich? So I think that a lot of times, no, if we're fair about the way we give the information, is actually way better tolerated than don't say no, ask for an opposing behavior. Okay, now let's take a look. Hey guys, what else do you guys have to say about this? Looking at we don't have anybody that's volunteering. Well, Jane, I'm going to say I think it's lovely, and I'm really glad you did it. And I have one other thing for your consideration for other work on this kind of task, and that is, when possible, I would recommend that you do a review close to them. Like, you know, this is the left, this is the right. Then hold the cones up right next to them so that it's a neutral cue, but they're right next to the horse's head. Can you show me the left? Can you show me the right? And then start moving them further and further apart. Because the more the animal has to invest in the behavior before he actually gets to the decision point, the more likely it is to fall apart. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay. I think you are well on the way. I'm going to mute you again. We don't get feedback. And I'm about to give you guys some points for teaching this kind of thing. And there they are. So you can develop a way of presenting the information that actually it's a little formula. And you're doing this. We can see this. And the more we analyze it, the more we see, oh, we could shave off a little bit of time here, and we could do it this way and that way. And there's always going to be things that interfere with that, like, gee, the other horse might come up over the hill, and that's why this horse is facing that way. And another thing is that if you change something like the distance of one object versus another object, or, I'm sorry, if you're working with an object and you change the distance, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, the thing's flapping in the wind, I need to get him to be okay with it flapping in the wind. You can immediately work on the flapping in the wind. Well, have you finished with the distance? No, but that's okay. The critical thing is be very careful to at least try to just do the flapping on the wind and then add back the distance so that you're only changing one variable at a time. So you can either introduce a target and keep changing. You introduce a target and a variable, and we can call that variable a distraction if it's something like an obstacle, or it could be just like duration. You know, he doesn't have to target in spite of speed or in spite of an obstacle. He just has to target in spite of boredom, let's say. So you can teach a target, add some variable, like you have to target over distance or over time or in a new direction, or you've got to target and keep yourself a certain number of feet away from it. And then you work on the parameters of this. Okay, I want you to do it for 1 second. Can you do it for 2, for 4, for 8, etc.? Or you can present a target with a different variable. And let's say you're working on targeting with a follow where the animal is touching. You certainly want to do a follow with the animal referencing, and then work on both of those a little bit so the animal's clear on the difference between following in contact and following at a distance. So that would be working on a target with one variable and then a second target with a different variable. And then you can increase, you could go in a third direction if you wanted to. Does that make sense to you guys? Anyone? Did you guys go to sleep today? Thank you, Jane. Okay, that does it. I'm unmuting Carolyn. Carolyn, does that make sense? Uh-oh, I chased her away. Dang, well, I'm not discouraged. I'm sure she'll call back. Leslie, what do you think about this? Okay, Leslie went for coffee. Kathy. Are you there?
Oh, Casey?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm here. Kind of at the beginning of the call, I cut my finger, so I've been trying to take care of myself and not really able to get on the computer or my phone.
Oh, okay. Well, no problem.
I'm back. And
I
did hear. Yes, it does make sense. Changing one variable at a time.
And the stuff about the over-the-shoulder presentation and then presenting them equally.
Uh-huh.
And putting the animal in a position where they are equal.
It does make sense.
Have you been doing this kind of task with your animal?
I have been focusing more on basics because, like I said before when you asked about my horse, we were so far behind on my handling skills and his education about how to be a polite horse that, I started doing this, but I needed to work more on just,
Well, don't worry about
other things with him. Now, with my dogs, I do lots of stuff like this, and they're really very good at it. So they're very interactive and just love all of the challenges and motion, and they're pretty good at toggling and choosing and. Yeah.
Okay, if you get a chance, whatever you're working with your horse or your dogs this week, go ahead and send me little pieces of video, and I will comment back directly so that you can incorporate it all for your video for the last part of the class.
Okay.
And so just send it as fast as you get it, and just send little pieces.
Okay.
Because then I can really take a look and see it. If it's 5 minutes long, I got to find the thing in it. And I think with your horse, that might be the most productive for you, because if we look at your horse, we might be able to get some insights on how he's processing the information and what he's doing with it. And we might be able to, like Jane's got a real handle on magic, where I'm not talking to you until you do your part.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we get that, get a little insight into that, sometimes we can tweak things so that we're not kind of stepping on each other's toes without meaning to.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but thank you for coming to talk to me. All right.
I'm still here. Thank you, Casey.
All right. Bye-bye. Go ahead, Leslie.
We had talked about teaching. You had wanted me to teach George to go around the barrels without,
Oh, yeah.
And I found that he's really not comfortable with me handling him off of his right side. So I'm having to go back and, like he'll target and follow around if I'm on his left side, and I'm having really good luck turning to left, but right's not comfortable. So I'm having to step back here and increase the parameters inch by inch off the right side.
And remember I said that. I said it's not a matter of, you have to spend equal time. They're not comfortable. And remember the whole thing about they perceive differently off of both sides of the brain?
Correct.
They're not comfortable with us on the right side. So we think it's our big idea because, we carry our sword on the left.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. That's not it. We are responding to the preference of the horse. So good for you for testing it out. That's really interesting.
Also, when I'm doing that, because I am not proficient at targeting, and he has been taught to, he's still having problems. How do I say this? He is just barely showing me his shoulder. Last night I got, just a brief, this is your hip, and put a little bit of weight into my hand. But he by no means is targeting his hip and his shoulder at all yet.
Yeah.
He's more, I'll move away. Now, he totally gets, when I'm sitting on top of him, he understands stiff and show me your face. He totally gets that. I can get him to walk around the barrel turning to the left counterclockwise, but I guess is it okay because I just I'm targeting him with my left hand, showing him to come around, and I'm facing the barrel and showing him to come around it, like a 10-foot circle, and he'll do that. But I suppose I'm a little bit confused because I did stick my right hand out and flutter my fingers and allow him to go, okay, move your hip away, because he does not know how to target. I have not been able to break that barrier where he will move towards a target.
Okay, let me help on that. I think I can help you. And Jane, I will get right back. Get right back to you. And Carolyn, thank you so much for coming in there. And what can really help is pulsing. So let me put it here. Helps to initiate actions toward the target. Helps to keep firm contact. Helps to keep the target live. Do you remember what that is? What
totally.
The pulsing is?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Now, the bigger the body part, do you remember that? The bigger the body part, the deeper and slower the pulse. So for a hip pulse, you're going to lean into him so he just sways just a little bit and then come back. You don't want him to break. You don't want him to step away from you. You just want to sway him, come back halfway. He's going to fall into your hip target. X, that's hip. You created it. But he's going to feel that contact.
Okay.
Try that, and then let me know how it works for you.
Okay.
Okay. So let me just put those notes. Bigger the body part, deeper and slower the pulse. Push into the animal, not enough to sway, but not enough to make him cross away from you. Release the pressure, but only fall back halfway. He will sway into your hand, terminal bridge, the contact, and name the body part or the target, whichever one you're focusing on. Okay? Ooh, okay. A lot of people like that. Now, we are past the end of our time, but I do have just two more things I want to say. I want to cover Jane's question, so let's do that real quick. Leslie, did you have any more questions?
No, got that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Jane, go ahead.
It was just with the follow versus reference, I've just got myself a bit confused. Is follow when they're actually nose or whatever on the target?
Yes.
And reference is they're going to stay a certain distance away from the target?
Exactly. So, for example, when you're leading a horse, you could teach them, keep your left shoulder in contact with my shoulder. But you guys would be knocking around each other all the time.
Yeah.
So instead we say, keep within this range as far as lateral distance and this range as far as latitudinal or longitudinal distance. So that's a reference.
Okay, like a grid reference.
Or you have a visual target and have them follow it with their eyes, but they don't move their body. So they're not making actual contact. They're making, like, focus contact or referential distance or whatever. If you have a dog trailing somebody, a lot of the feline shows, they'll have a feline trailing the trainer. And whatever the trainer does, the feline does also. When the trainer turns around to look, the feline turns around to look. And what makes it really funny is it looks like, you know, the feline is staking out the human.
Right.
Okay, did you have another question?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, and I'm glad that helped you too, Carolyn. And what I have for you guys is please remember that we're asking you to send in your pieces of video this week, and not just when you are not just on Monday, but send them all along and do everything that you want to do that I might be able to give you feedback on. And I'll give you feedback as fast as I can as you send the pieces in. Remember about your presentations, and when you send me the feedback in, I will send you a link to another piece of little video, just something for you to watch that I've done. And believe me, we're rusty. We haven't spent very much time together, but I thought you might like to see me working with my horse. All right, thank you very, very much, and I will see you next Monday for our last class.